Alright guys, welcome back. We've predicted this pump accurately and on time and crash alerts this week. If you're not in there, I don't know what you're doing. Actually, I do know what you're doing. You're probably getting liquidated on the short side right now because you are not ready for this pump. And that's exactly why you should be in the alerts if you're not already, because you can see this entire week. Look at my messages. We've been telling everybody, how bullish the setup was going into this week. And so if you see here, we had a double bottom with bullish RSI divergence in the stock market on the weekly chart. And when you have that, you know it's not the time to be bearish in the short term, okay? Because that strength has to follow through into the price. So you could see the analysis I sent out earlier this week. S&P was at 37.52 headed into the week, and you can see, right, we had a perfect double bottom right at support off the 200-week moving average with bullish RSI divergence. So this is not something to ignore, okay? But that's what 90% of the world is doing right now, is they short the market because they're not paying attention to the divergences that, obviously I show you all the time. And so when you have this massively bullish setup on the weekly chart in the stock market, don't expect Bitcoin to crash that week, right? And so here we are, we're sitting at support, right? We were sitting down here, and everyone was expecting Bitcoin to collapse lower, right? And obviously, I thought Bitcoin was going to collapse lower a few weeks ago, and it didn't, and we just continue to hold support here, right? But so many people stay stubborn, and they stay thinking that we're going to go down there. But then, once again, you have to look and pay attention to the factors that other people aren't considering. So, once again, we couldn't break down. So right over here is when I thought we were going to break lower. We don't. And so as time continues to pass, we continue to hold, but guess what? Bullish divergences start to form in the charts, and that's what you see here in the S&P 500 weekly chart. So once again, if you know you have such a bullish setup in the stock market, you know that Bitcoin's not going to crash this week, and that's how we had the confidence to actually long here down in this region that was so slow and sluggish for a breakout. And so now we've broken that resistance, and in my opinion, as far as I can see, the chains are off of Bitcoin. I'm looking at 21K next. And if you look at my recent messages, okay, and if you look on Twitter right now, everyone is saying, get ready to short now at 19,600. Get ready to short now at 20,000. Get ready to short at 21,000. Like, everyone is so eager and ready to short the market. And in my opinion, that's going to be fuel to actually head higher. So, so many people are overly confident on the bear side. So many people are conditioned to just short every single opportunity you can get because that's what the market's been doing now for months. But a lot of people aren't ready for the reversal. A lot of people aren't ready for that turning moment. And so it's very similar right now to when we bottomed at 29K earlier in 2021, okay? You see how bearish it looked here. It looked horrible. And all of a sudden, it just pops up and out of there, and it just pumps for days and days and days. So if you're short there, you got wrecked, okay? And so, it looks very similar here, right? You go down 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 5 time, 6 time, right? Everyone's bearish thinking you're going to go lower, including myself there. I thought we were going to go lower, and we didn't. We pumped out of there. So it's the same thing happening now, only this time we just paid attention to the clues in the stock market. We looked at the divergence here in the weekly chart, and that's how we knew not to be bearish this week. Okay, we could be bearish in another week, but don't be bearish on the week that you have a perfect textbook double bottom in the stock market with tons of bullish divergence, right? So that's how we stayed confidently bullish here, down here at this point in the charts where everyone's calling for collapse lower, okay? So I told everyone here, you can see my messages. Everyone's saying to short. I cannot be bearish on this chart. Bears are too bearish. Okay, you could head short, right? You can head short at resistance, but I'm telling everyone in our alerts, resistance are to be scalp shorted right now. I would not swing short resistance. Okay, and so you could just see the messages here earlier this week. If you're wondering, what do my alerts look like? What do they, so you can get an idea of what it's like to be in here. I'll show you the exact messages I sent out to everyone and what that looks like. Okay, so earlier this week when I sent out the message here, I sent out a message, $15,000 long on Solana. If you look at the stock charts, we look extremely bullish going into this week. So basically, I send you an exact picture. You can see I'm only up $77 at the point I send this message out. You can see my margin, 14,000 in the trade there on 10x leverage. So I show you exactly my position, like point blank right there in front of you. So you can see that message there. Now we ended up closing out here of those trades, and then we ended up re-entering. Okay, so when we re-enter back on the long side, what the message looks like is right here. I told everyone longing this pullback in Bitcoin, risking $3,600 with my stop loss right here at 19,035. And then you can also see this was on Bitget. I use two trading platforms. I like to have two separate accounts if needed. So on Bitget, we risked $3,600 on the long side. You can see I send everyone my stop loss and exactly how much we're going to lose if we're wrong. And then you can see the stop loss I sent on Femex right here. I told everyone I'm risking $15,000 here with a stop loss at 18,849. So I tell everyone I'm longing it. I tell you exactly where that stop loss is and how much I'm risking. And so we just wait. We're patient, and it pays off here. So I think we have plenty higher to go right now. And that's why I want to get this video out for you guys to tell you next target 21K. And like I said, guys, be careful if you're a short seller. Be careful if you've been conditioned to just short every single bounce in this market, because you got to realize at some point the market will turn, it will shift, and if you're not ready for that moment, you're likely going to get terrorized on the pump and probably lose a lot of your gains that you made on the short side this year. And it takes experiencing that to know that and be prepared for that in the future. And that's why I always say the best short sellers ever always have to get wrecked at some point in their past. So I've gotten wrecked in the past shorting, and if you're planning on being a good short seller, then you're going to get wrecked at some point, and it's actually getting wrecked in the past that helps you see the characteristics of these turning points and helps you prevent yourself from actually getting wrecked again. You start to feel kind of like the aura of the market. You start to see the emotional reactions of people online on Twitter. And once you see that, sometimes people are overly confident or overly bearish, a lot of times these are the moments that you got to be very, very careful. Don't be cocky. And a lot of times that is when the market can reverse hard and catch so many, inexperienced short sellers off guard and really wreck a lot of people. Okay, so it's not as easy as just short the market because it's a bear market. Really, the best time was to short the market was back here above 40K. When we made $110,000 on this short right here. Remember that video? Or when we made $50,000 on this short right here, if you remember that video, right? The biggest shorts came from up here. The biggest money to be made was above 40K. As we come down lower, the biggest money actually is to be made on the long side, but everyone is now bearish, right? And up here, everyone was bullish, but really, the biggest money is always made on the counter side, in my opinion, at the turning points when people aren't ready for it. So at this point, guys, do not be overly eagerly bearish. Don't be overly cocky on the short side. Like I said, if you're going to short, I would only be doing it, scalp shorting at resistances, but I would not be holding them for a 2 to 3 week play or a 1 week play yet. Okay, so I see upside, and right now I'm focused on 21K. I believe if we can break 21K, guys, this will sound crazy and not many people would believe me, but I don't underestimate the potential to get to 26K. If you actually look at the charts closely here, you'll see 26K it's a really perfect resistance. Okay, you can draw this from the top, 69K, and if you bring this resistance down all the way to 26K, or you're gonna notice right here, boom, 25, 26K. So think about it. Could you see that happening? I could, okay, because we had this low right here, right, at 25, 26K. Okay, so look, we held, well, that was support there at 26K once, came down, we held support at 17.5, came up to 25, 26K, come back down to 17K, and we can go right back up to 26K. It would really just be a range here, right, from 26K to 17K to 25K to 17K to 26K. Again, at the end of the day, this is just a sideways range, and you got chopped up if you're short down here at the low and the bottom of the range. So we can still come all the way up to 26K before actually breaking down lower to the targets that so many people are calling for, and a target that I was calling for, 14K. Okay, so we can actually come all the way up before we head down. And then, guys, if we actually broke past 26K, at that point we could actually be talking about a bull market, maybe. But first, I mean, this is like what, 20% away from us, so we got a long way to go before we could get there. It could happen sooner than you think it could. So, like I said, be cautious as a short seller. Obviously, I'll keep you up to date, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will let you know my thoughts if and when we get there. But yes, next target 21K, and if we can break that, do not be surprised and do not be caught off guard as a short seller, because we could get to 26K before actually going to 14K. As crazy as that may sound, it's just a range, and it gets a lot of people off guard and screwed because you get emotional, you short the lows, and then once we get up here, you might be longing the top. Don't do that. Think about that in advance, and make sure you subscribe so I'll keep you up to date. Guys, if you want to join the alerts, click the link down below this video. Actually, guys, Bitget is doing a crazy promo. If you sign up on Bitget, deposit $1,000 on the platform, you can actually get one full free month of crash alerts. Bitget will be sponsoring that for you guys, so make sure you follow the steps I'll leave down below for you if you want to get one free month of crash alerts. And look, one free month could be making you right now 18,000 plus 6,000 plus 6,200. What is that, guys? What is that, like $30,000 in profit? So you could get in for completely free and be up $30,000. If that's not a deal of a lifetime, I don't know what is, guys. So take advantage, and thank you to Bitget for doing this promo for you guys. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and see you in there. Let's make some money.